going to Disney.
Yeah, we are. Anyway, so we wanted to make this video to kind of go through a relatively short, just kind of an overview of what we're going to be doing this next week. We leave in, let's see, today's Saturday. We leave on Monday morning. So we have essentially tomorrow to finish packing, and then we will leave.
Yeah, because we leave bright and early in the morning too.
Mhm.
We have to be at the airport at like
4:30.
4:30.
Mm-hmm. So it's
So,
a bit rough, but
I mean, I'm up that early anyway, so that's not like that big of a deal.
yeah, usually a child gets you up that early.
Yeah.
So
So we've already made like our fast passes and everything because at Walt Disney World you make your fast passes 60 days out if you're staying on property, or 30 days out if you're staying off property.
Yes.
And we are doing a quick service dining plan this time, so we didn't make any dining reservations, but typically you can make those 180 days out.
Yes.
So other than that, we're not going to dive too deep into the fast passes. We'll kind of go over that like on a daily basis.
Yeah, as we're in the parks.
Yeah, in the morning we'll kind of do like this is what we got planned for the day, little vlog, and then kind of do some vlogging in the parks. But we wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we got going on first, and like how we plan that stuff out, what days we're going to do which.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start, like we fly out on Monday at 6:40 a.m.
Yeah, which means we have to be there 2 hours early, so 4:30 in the morning. So
yeah.
I mean, we're usually that's about the same time our flights were the last few times we went. Was we would leave around 3:30 in the morning and then arrive at the airport at about 4:30. So it's not anything that's new to us. It's just never gets easier. So, but it also makes it easier. Like having a flight that early generally means the flight is pretty nice because everybody's sleeping.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just have a nice relaxing flight as long as, their child. I mean, thankfully for us, Aiden has been awesome with his flights. He just sleeps through the flights.
Yeah.
Which we weren't sure was going to happen. Usually the pressure gets to him and they start crying. But, I mean, thankfully he was pretty calm for most of all the flights and the last times we've been on, so.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it this time, though, because in our drives up and down the mountain, he'll start crying as we're coming down the mountain.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm sure that's the pressure in his ears, because we can all feel that pressure, too. And it's right about then that he starts getting upset. So I am a little worried about it this time, but hopefully, like, because there's not a lot of changing in pressure like it is when we're driving in and out of the mountains, it won't be too bad for him.
Yeah. Well, no, it'll give us an opportunity to kind of see what helps bring him down off of that. What helps kind of relieve that pressure and everything. So, I mean, for us adults, you can just kind of make yourself yawn or like kind of stretch your mouth and kind of just pop your ears, but babies don't know how to do that. So.
Yeah, that's why they usually suggest that you feed them when you are taking off and landing. So whether that's nursing or feeding them with a bottle. Even sometimes pacifiers can help. Just that sucking motion can help relieve that pressure.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He usually doesn't. The last 2 trips he didn't nurse on takeoff or landing.
No, because he was asleep.
Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't asleep.
No, not the last time he wasn't asleep. He was the first time.
But he didn't seem to have any issues with that. But it may have been too early to tell. So we'll see.
So, but our flight should get into MCO in Orlando around 12:30ish local time.
That's about it.
Yeah, it's about a 3.5 hour flight. It's not bad. It's the same length that we had the last few times.
Yeah.
So that means that we should get down to our resort about 3 in the afternoon. We generally will stop for lunch after we land, just because with Aiden he wants to eat by that point.
Yeah.
So we'll probably stop for some food.
Yeah, we'll stop and get something to eat and kind of stretch our legs out before we have to get on the bus, because we take the Magical Express from MCO to our resort, and that's simply just ease of travel for us. Like, it's easy just to be there, hop on a bus, and we don't have to worry about calling an Uber or a taxi or a shuttle or anything like that.
Yeah, and if any of you are planning on taking a Disney trip, I would definitely go through one of the Disney certified travel agents, because you will always get Magical Express unless you're planning on driving yourself down there. Magical Express will be included with this. So we used Dreams Unlimited Travel for all of our trips, and it's been awesome. They've set everything up for us. All we did was just pay for the trip. That's pretty much all we did.
Yeah.
So, and they'll set up the Magical Express and get you all the information. If your flight changes, you just email them and they
adjust for that.
Adjust everything. So.
So then we are staying at All Star Movies,
Right.
which is where we've stayed for our last 2 trips as well. We haven't stayed at any other resorts, but we've gone to some of them, checked them out. We went to the Polynesian, so.
We were at the Polynesian on our last trip. We were eating breakfast at Ohana, and so we were able to check out a little bit of the resort while we were there. And it's a very nice and very, very thematic place. It's really cool.
But for us, we don't spend a lot of time at the resort or in our room at all.
Yeah.
Like we honestly, we get up in the morning, we get ready, we leave, we come back at night, we go to sleep. We don't spend any time hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's what you're doing, you're going to be rope dropping to close and just using that hotel room as a place to sleep, then one of the value resorts is really not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Because
they're still really nice. Just because it's value doesn't mean that it's like a Motel 6. They're still very nice. They're heavily themed. The staff is all great. The rooms are really nice. There's nothing bad about them. It's just that they are cheaper. They're meant for people who are traveling on a budget or who just don't want to pay that much for the room.
There's especially I can speak truly to All-Star Movies and the All-Star resorts in general. They're going to be smaller rooms. You're not going to have space to spread everything out and lounge, and there's not a couch in there or anything like that. And you are going to have just kind of basic amenities. You have a small fridge in your hotel room and one of the single pod coffee makers. So there's no microwaves or anything like that you may be used to in some other hotel rooms. And the other part of a value resort being a value resort is you have your hotel room is accessed from the outside, so you're not walking down a hallway into your room.
Right.
And that's part of the other reason that they make it a value resort. Whereas if you're staying at Grand Floridian or the Polynesian, you're accessing your rooms from the inside, and that's just a little bit nicer thing that you don't get with the value resorts. But for us, that's not really an issue since we're not hanging out at the hotel room or at the hotel. I think the first trip we didn't spend any time exploring the resort at all, and then
I did a little bit, but
only because you're playing Pokemon Go, not because you were just wandering.
Well, no, it was because I was walking around a couple of times, and that was mostly because I was giving you and Aiden, because she was 3 weeks postpartum, he was 3 weeks old. I was giving them time to kind of rest. It was usually early in the morning. I worked at 4 a.m. normally at that time, and so I was up that early.
Yeah.
And so I would just kind of wander around the resort, because the lobby and then food court kind of area, not necessarily the food court itself, but the food court area is open 24 hours. So I was just kind of wandering a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
But our last trip is when we actually that's the only time we've been in the pool there.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's adequate. It's not anything crazy fancy. You're not taking it's not a 5-star hotel. So it's not a crazy fancy pool, but it's a pool. They have life jackets and stuff like that for you when you're out there.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So
when we get there, our first day, we've kind of started doing this as kind of a tradition for us now, is that on our arrival day, we will go to Animal Kingdom as our half day. We don't generally spend as much time in Animal Kingdom. It's not our favorite park. We still like going to it. We do really enjoy it. We would probably get more enjoyment out of it when Aiden is a little older.
Yeah.
But as of right now, there's not a huge amount for us to do there's a couple of rides. She'll ride Expedition Everest. We can ride Kali River Rapids, Navi River Journey, things like that. But there's not much else that we can do. There's kind of a little walkthrough that we did last time, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, like the zoo like aspect of it where you can see some of the animals, which is okay. At 6 months old, Aiden didn't have quite the attention span to sit and watch animals.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get that way where he like sees animals and recognizes them and wants to look at them and interact with them, but he's still not totally into it, and so that's not a huge plus for us. So like we'll go and we'll do the walk, but we don't spend a whole lot of time doing that.
Right.
We do a lot of the character meet and greets since it's a really good place to meet some of the characters with shorter lines and some of the characters you don't see in the other parks, like Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck. Those aren't characters that you see in Magic Kingdom or
well, even in Animal Kingdom you don't really see them that often. It's just they've been having, I don't know how long it's been going on, they have Donald's Dino Bash going because Donald has discovered that he's descended from dinosaurs, and so he's having this whole Dino Bash party. He's it's literally just like a party every day, and the last 2 times that we went it was still going on. And so like Donald's wearing like a special outfit to make him look like a raptor and things, and so that's actually why Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck are there, because of the whole like archaeology kind of aspect to it.
Yeah.
But normally they, as far as I know, they aren't normally there, and if they are, it's a very like it's one of the rare characters that you don't get to see that often. But it is nice to be able to actually to get to see a character like that.
Yeah, but I really like it just for the characters, just because it's a lot shorter lines than you would see in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, we waited like 20 minutes to see Safari Mickey and Minnie.
That was the longest that we waited for any of the characters. Almost all the other characters we walked up to.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes at most.
Yeah, if they were on their break, sometimes it would be that we would have to wait a little bit. But for the most part, it was just we walked straight up to them. So that's one of the things that we typically do in Animal Kingdom. But otherwise, there's just not a whole lot for us.
Yeah.
Just because of like Aiden's age and kind of just the park and the way it's set up.
Yeah.
And then on our first trip, I had an allergic reaction to something. I don't know if it was a plant or something. My legs broke out in hives, so we kind of try and take it easy on Animal Kingdom just because we don't know what I reacted to.
Yeah, and so we don't want to run that risk.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier. So after Animal Kingdom, our second day, we will go to, we'll actually do a little bit of park hopping. We're going to start out in Hollywood Studios. They have extra magic hours at from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. And then their normal hours start at 9 a.m. And so we're going to be there. We're not going to be there at 6 in the morning. That's a little much. But we're going to be there fairly early.
Yeah.
Maybe around 7 or 8. We'll take advantage of like an hour or 2 of the extra magic hours.
Yeah.
Just so we can try to get into Toy Story Land, because Toy Story Land is usually really busy. We're going to try to get in there and ride a couple of those rides that usually have long lines. We'll try to get in and take a look at Star Wars. I will try to get in and take a look at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge just to kind of take a look around.
Hey, everybody's been reporting that it's been pretty quiet. Like some of the shops have been busy, but like being in the land hasn't been too busy, is what everybody's saying. So I might go in with you, and then I just won't like if the shops are too busy, I'll just step out, and it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Hollywood Studios is another park where there's just really not a lot for us there.
Yeah. I mean, the rides that they have there, they have Slinky Dog Dash, which is a coaster that Aiden can't do. They have Rock and Roller Coaster, which Aiden can't do.
Tower of Terror,
which he
Aiden can't do.
And which we don't like anyway.
We're not into drop towers.
Yeah. And so there's really, the only thing there is for us to do is wander around in the shops, and we'll switch off taking care of Aiden so we can ride Slinky Dog Dash. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's just looking around. If we're there in the evening, we like to watch Fantasmic. It is a great show. We won't be able to do that this time, just because of the way that we did the scheduling, it just didn't quite work out. But I mean, we saw it the last 2 times, and it's been great. So, but after that, about probably halfway through the day, I think we have a fast pass at around like 12:30 or so. So after that fast pass, we are going to make a quick trip over to Epcot. Since we are annual pass holders, we can take advantage of some of the special perks for Food and Wine Festival that's going on right now. Meaning that if we visit the festival center 4 times?
4 times.
Yeah, 4 times. Then we get these special Chef Mini wooden coasters.
And
And so we're gonna try to take advantage of that. So we're just gonna kind of hop over,
hop
just
over,
to-
check in,
check in, maybe stop and take a look around, and then
grab a snack, something like that, and then
yeah, and then we're gonna hop on the monorail, take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is where we're gonna be spending most of the second half of the day and the evening. That she's excited because the reason we're doing Magic Kingdom in the evening is because we have tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So we'll get to see the Boo to You parade. We'll get to see the, I don't remember the name of the new show that they changed it to because they just changed the fireworks show like beginning of this month actually. It was September 1st that they did the first one. No,
something spectacular, or was that the old one?
that was the old one. But while she's looking that up, so this will be the first time. We were there in October, our first trip, so we were hoping to be able to go to it, and we just ended up not having the money and not having the time to go to it.
It is the Not So Spooky Spectacular. I am not
so
crazy.
Spooky Spectacular. Yes.
Something,
that is right
something
now.
spectacular.
something dark side. So, but yeah, this will be the first time that we've been able to go to the Halloween party, and so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
We're hoping someday to be able to go to like the Christmas party as well, and things like that. There's always so much going on, especially in Magic Kingdom, because that's kind of their main park. There's just so much going on in there all the time.
They always have some sort of festivities going on, and then in the middle of the Halloween party, I'm actually gonna hop the monorail, go back over to Epcot because they're having a pass holder preview of the new color. It's Arendelle Aqua, so they'll have ears. I think there's a Loungefly backpack, Spirit jersey, a mug, probably a t-shirt.
Yeah, there's usually all sorts of different stuff in whatever new color they put out.
Yeah.
And the Arendelle Aqua is kind of like a kind of a light blue. It's like Elsa's dress.
Yes,
that's the color that they're going for.
Yeah.
So.
Then I'm gonna hop the monorail and go pick up a pair of ears because I saw
it's not
those.
Supposed to be released until like the day we leave. I think
it is the day that we leave.
It's the actual official release.
And I would just rather get them early, not have to worry about hunting them down when we're trying to take an easy day to leave.
Yeah, because if they don't put them out on the shelf until 3 o'clock, and we're supposed to be on the Magical Express back to the airport at 3:30. We can't really do that.
Yeah, we don't want to chance that. So I'm just going to hop over, go over to the pass holder preview, and then come back over to the Halloween party.
Yeah. And also at the Halloween party, we will have a couple of special guests in our video for that one. One of my friends who I used to work with is actually in Disney World right now. They got there sometime this past week, and they have tickets for the Halloween party that night as well. They're also staying in All-Star Movies with us as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hang out with them that night, and so that should be pretty fun because usually when we go, we don't know anybody. You kind of just meet some new people as you go. So
I'm just excited to have somebody to ride Space Mountain with me. That's all I got. That's all I got in my life.
Yes, they will ride Space Mountain with you, I guarantee it. So, but that will be a pretty late night for us. So we may stay the whole time. Usually the party goes until about midnight. We're going to try to stay the whole time, but it kind of depends on how Aiden's doing.
Yeah, if I can get Aiden to fall asleep and just hang out while we walk around, then we'll probably stay pretty late because we could stay up pretty late. But if he's having a hard time going to sleep, then we'll have to call it quits sooner just so that he can get some rest.
Yeah, and if anything, if there's some stuff that we still wanted to see, we'll send her back, and I'll stay with the camera and everything and try to take a look at some of the other stuff before I go back.
Yeah.
So, the third day will be a full Magic Kingdom day. For the most part, we are going to go to Epcot at some point during the day, possibly like kind of as a lunchtime thing, maybe in the evening, so we can check in at the Festival Center. But other than that quick jaunt, it's a full Magic Kingdom day.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna try to hop as many rides as we can. We like doing Haunted Mansion. We love Pirates of the Caribbean is always fun. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad we usually pass off who's holding Aiden, and so we really enjoy Magic Kingdom. There's also just a ton of stuff to see.
Yeah.
So
even like aside from like character meet and greets, there's just a lot of things to go and look at.
Mhm. There's a parade that happens I believe it's every 2 hours
So
or something like
they
that.
have two different parades.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
So they have the Move It, Shake It dance party,
Mhm.
which I'm still mad because they changed the end song on. They just
When we were there the first time, it was the Move It, Shake It, Dance It. Was that what it was called the first time?
yeah.
Move It, Shake It, Dance It, Play It, I think. Or something like that. And then they changed it to Move It, Shake It, Mouse It, Dance It.
Yeah.
So they kind of changed a little bit of the soundtrack and everything.
They changed the whole soundtrack.
Well, yeah. No,
but regardless. So they have that, and they also have the Festival of Fantasy Parade, which is the big parade that it's like 2:00 every day, and there's all of the Disney characters are in it, so you'll see Belle and Tiana and Ariel and Tinkerbell, and they all have their own floats,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's the big parade. And then the Move It, Shake It, Dance It is just kind of
it's a dance parade. They kind of have a parade up to the square in front of the castle, in front of Cinderella Castle, and then they have a dance party.
Yeah.
Like they'll stop the floats, and then you're allowed to go into the street with the characters, and you'll see it's one of the most adorable things ever. You see a bunch of just little kids dancing around with. When we were for the last parade, it was like Judy Hopps was there, and Baloo was there, and King Louie. They have some different characters this time, but it's so much fun to watch.
It is, yeah.
And just like the sheer elation on the kids' faces just to be dancing with those characters.
Yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, so that'll be just a full Magic Kingdom day.
Yeah, and our son is getting his first haircut that day too.
Yes, it's about 12:40 that day.
Yeah, he's got little wings going over his ears, so it's time to get the hair trimmed. So
yeah, it's getting pretty long.
We'll do his first haircut there that day as well.
Yeah. So, the next day, day 4, will be a full Epcot day. Epcot is my favorite park solely because I really enjoy other cultures, other languages. Like there's something about it that I just like immediately just have an affinity for, and so it's always a lot of fun for me to go and like just to look around. They do have a few rides there. Frozen Ever After is one of our favorites to go on. They do have the Three Caballeros ride, which is just kind of a calm little boat ride, probably on the same level as Small World.
Yeah.
Small World has maybe a little more to see, but
it's along the same line.
Kind of the same idea. Yeah, you're just kind of floating through, but you do get to float through. I don't remember the name of the restaurant in there, but inside the pyramid in Mexico, there's a little restaurant, and your boat actually floats through right next to that restaurant.
It's Sun and Hills.
Oh yeah, Sun and Hill. And so that's always pretty fun because you can see kind of the people dining, and if you are dining in that restaurant, you can kind of see, you'll see the boat go by, and there's nothing loud about it. It's just
It's just
a nice relaxing
boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
I really only go to Epcot for Figment.
Yes, she has gained a obsession with Figment ever since we went to Disney World the first time.
Yes, he's my favorite. He's a cute little purple dragon, and he has his own ride. And
Journey into Imagination.
And he's my favorite, and he's my spirit animal, and I love him, and I want to take him home and keep him forever. So that's really the only reason I go to Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
But
other than food.
Well, yeah, the food is the good part too.
That's one of the things that we're doing because it's the Food and Wine Festival. We're going to eat and drink around the world. For those of you who don't know, the Food and Wine Festival, well, at any festival at Epcot, they will have different stands for different countries, and then there's some of them that aren't even for a country. It's just kind of a little another food stand, and they will have kind of different kind of meals to try, and they're generally like really small portions and everything. So you can generally go around and try 3, 4, 5, 6 things from different places, and that might equate to a full meal.
Yeah.
So
and for anybody who's on the dining plan, it works out really well because a lot of those small portions are snack credits.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you'll see people save up their snack credits specifically for food and wine, because then they can go, they can go through and they can get a bunch of different things to try from all the different stands. So
and so that's kind of one of our plans for the days, and we'll try a few things in the morning, a few things in the afternoon. We may not even end up eating at one of the quick service restaurants. I mean, we might, but for the most part, we'll just kind of be wandering around, kind of trying new things at the Japan stand, the Germany stand, all that.
We'll fill up on snacks.
Yeah. And we'll kind of show you. There's you get a little passport booklet that when you try food at whichever stand, you take a little sticker, your stamp for your passport, and you put it in whichever section. So it's kind of a cool little souvenir.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it'll just be a full Epcot day, and then day 5, which is the day that we leave. We fly out at 7:50 in the evening Orlando time. I always do that on purpose so that we can get more of a full day before leaving, rather than our flight's at 12 in the morning, so we just pay 12 noon, and so we just paid for an extra the $100 and whatever dollars, however much you're paying for your resort for one more night, to not be able to go to a park again in the morning, because the Magical Express will take you to the airport. I believe it's 3 hours early.
Usually.
It's 3 or 4 hours early.
Yeah, we spend a lot more time in MCO than we ever do in DIA, just because we have kind of got DIA down to a pat, so we just get there, go through security, and we're on the plane.
By the time we get to our gate, it's like 20 minutes until our flight is going to board.
Yeah.
So, but at MCO you can't do that because you go back on the Magical Express, then you don't really have that option. They always take you. They're like, all right, your flight's at this time, so our flight's at 7:50. They're probably going to send us back to MCO at around 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably when our bus will leave. Partially because they kind of do it in groups.
Yeah, they group up
like
as many
anybody
people
who
as
has
they can.
flights between like 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. or something like that, they're all leaving the resort at 4:15 or something like that. So we try to do it. I try to schedule the flights in the evening so that we can get more of a full day.
Yeah.
And we are going to spend that half day at Epcot. We generally like to spend our last day at Epcot just because we like to go to the gift shops. There's Mouse Gears is a very extensive gift shop, and so like we kind of get any last minute souvenirs, things like that. We'll run back to the Japan section. Usually I grab one more thing from the souvenir from the Japan section because I have an obsession with Japan, kind of like hers with Figment. So we usually kind of run back there, and then we kind of catch a couple of rides if we can. We'll ride Frozen, things like that. And we are planning on like rope dropping, and I think they might have extra magic hours in the morning. So
I think that whole week we're there, there's extra magic hours for pretty much every park.
I think so. So we'll be able to take advantage of that and kind of just wander around the park, and then before we head back, and we'll try some more of the food and everything. So
yeah,
and then we'll fly out at 7:50 in the evening, and our flight, we have a layover in Dallas, Texas, I think, and then we'll be home at like I think after midnight. It's right before or right after midnight our local time, so it'll be a little rough, but
a little bit longer flight, but layovers kind of make it easy because we can get out and
stretch our legs, change Aiden's diaper if we need to, things like that. So yeah, so in short, that's gonna be our trip. Like I said, we will as we're going through each day, we will kind of go into a little more depth of what our plans are that day, what our fast passes are, just so you know kind of what you're in for.
Yeah. And
we'll kind of go from there. So then we will hopefully see you guys tomorrow with another video.
Show you guys how I pack and
yep,
what all I take and what fits in my suitcase so I don't make it over 50 pounds.
Yep, she's very good at that. So, but until then, we will see you guys later.